It's time, fellas. We have the next 10 teams to reveal to you for the Ricky Davis League Stadium Search. I'm Phil Sherman coming to you from Studio 44 in Ontario, New York. And with such a great turnout for the first 5 stadiums, I'm so excited to bring these teams to you. Now, as much as I love these teams and, put some blood, sweat, and tears into making them, we're not in love with all of them. As I've stated in other videos, some of them we just kind of threw together at the last minute to put in some of those low-profile divisions that we won't play as much, if at all, the way the schedule was set up. So if you guys have ideas for teams in different cities or different ideas for team names for the cities that we have, leave them in the comments below. We're open to suggestion. If we like your ideas, we'll make them one of the more high-profile teams and get them shown on Studio 44. Now, that's part of the stadium search. I want to remind you guys that we're not just going to, pick these stadiums and then we're done. I want to show Ricky Davis League players playing in your stadiums. I want to show them hitting home runs and home run derbies in your stadiums. So if we use your teams and jerseys, you'll see that on Studio 44 too. And I hope you get a kick out of it because, that's what this is all about. It's all about just having fun. Now, like I said before, we have some amazing creators who have posted stadiums on this channel. And as much as I love Sewell 21, Sandman Dan, Murph 75, Archmage, they all make fantastic stadiums. But I'd love to see some of the guys who have only posted a stadium or two get in on this, or some new subscribers. Hopefully we can get some new subscribers out of this and have them post some stadiums. And don't forget, I am still going to do Stadium Extravaganza videos. It's not just about the Ricky Davis League. I have a video recorded that I will upload as soon as possible once I get it edited. And you can still submit your stadiums to showcase on Studio 44. Happy to still do that. But for now, let's move on to the teams of the Ricky Davis League. Starting things off north of the border, we have the Vancouver Yetis. I apologize, I don't know much about Vancouver, but I always kind of got a nature vibe up from it, like a smaller skyline and a lot of nature involved. So, I figured that's where you're going to see a Yeti, if anywhere, in Canada and that, western, up north. And so I figured it made sense. And that's just kind of where it came from. I don't know why the color scheme that we picked. It's kind of A's colors, but, less of a solid dark green. So I kind of like the colors, but we kept them low profile. I kind of threw the logo together from different logos that I found in the vault. Obviously, it's just a V for Vancouver. The Yeti I found, he's kind of cool with the ski mask or the ski goggles and a Bigfoot, in the background. That's basically the home uniform. The away uniform, one of those teams that supports all gray. That's one thing I wish we could do in franchise mode. Tell me that most teams in the major leagues don't have some kind of alternate jersey. When you relocate a team or rebrand a team, you only get a home and away uniform. Where's my alternate jersey? Or, last I knew, I don't play Diamond Dynasty much, but last I knew in Diamond Dynasty, you could change your logos in your uniforms whenever you want. Let us do that in franchise mode. Once you get into franchise and you've got your stuff set, you're stuck. If we could edit the logos and the jerseys mid-season, you have unlimited jerseys. So please, SDS, give us an alternate jersey option, or better yet, let us edit the jerseys in the middle of the season. That would be amazing. We'd have unlimited jerseys. So back to the Vancouver Yetis. This is kind of what I threw together. I found all this stuff in the vault. I didn't make any of it. I just kind of blended them all together. So there's the Vancouver Yetis. Do you have a better idea for their team? Do you have a better idea for their uniforms or logo? Do you want to build their stadium? Answer in the comments below. Real quick, though, I did want to talk about the stadium assigned to them. Towards the end of this game, I started streaming stadium videos. So some of the stadiums that we assigned to some of these, especially the low-profile teams, were put in the chopping block so that I could fit stadiums to record. This is one of those stadiums that I showcased towards the end of 22's life, and I got a kick out of it. It's nothing super special, but It was fun hitting home runs off that huge building. It looks pretty cool in game action. So that's one that I talked about. So I don't have the stadium that we use for the Vancouver Yetis, but so we'll move on. This is the San Juan Sharks. Puerto Rico is an island surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. So I figured Sharks, plus you got West Side Story, San Juan, Puerto Rico, the Sharks. I thought it made sense to kind of throw those two together. I found some Shark logos in the vault and threw them into that SJ. I stole the Seattle Seahawks color scheme. I love that neon green as an accent color. So it's mostly just like a navy blue, gray, and that green as a highlight. This was the Las Vegas Gamblers team colors before I switched over to the black and royal blue. And I liked the color scheme, so I wanted to give it to someone. Why this team ended up such a low profile, I don't know, but I always liked the Sharks. I think the Sharks are pretty cool. There's the away jersey. I love that Sharks logo that I found. It was very tedious to go in and change all the colors to the neon green, and you got to mess around with the bite marks in that Shark logo. So hats off to whoever created this logo. It's fantastic with the shark sticking up above the Sharks and the Nike swoosh. I like that one a lot. There are your Shark uniforms. Let's check out their stadium real quick. Now, I'm pretty sure we didn't play in this stadium, but I was going to showcase this towards the end again of 22's life, but I never got around to it. I thought it looked pretty cool, Rampage Rock. This one was uploaded like 1 million times in the vault, so I ran into it a lot. A lot of different versions of it, too, so I don't know if it's like a real stadium somewhere or something, but it was a real cool field. I never got to showcase it, but yeah, I guess I don't have the field for San Juan Sharks. Let's move on to the next team. You got the Yankees and the Mets. You got the Rangers and the Islanders. You got the Knicks and the Nets. You got the Jets and the Giants. Every big league has 2 New York teams. We wanted to keep up that tradition. This was originally the high-profile New York team that we played against. This is where Bucky Crozier was, and Jerome Raines, and Ron Clemens, and Mariano Perez, and all those guys, Wayne Paste. But I created a new logo for the Bomb Squad, and I started loving that blue and yellow color scheme, which is also the color scheme of Respect the Pick, by the way, just saying. But the Express, I don't know if you know this about the Mets. Apparently, they got their color scheme, the blue and the orange, from borrowing from the 2 teams that left New York, the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants. They took the blue and the orange, put them together, and that's why you have the Mets colors. I wanted to do the same thing with Express. You got the midnight blue of the Yankees and the orange of the Mets. And they were called the Express for the subway trains. There's an Express line, or there's an Express train, and there was a E on a logo. But again, it turns out that E was from another minor league team named the Express. So I changed the E on the hat, kind of circled it to make it look like a subway. And then there's the away uniforms. Someone had that Manhattan in the background, the silhouette of the skyline, the Manhattan circled, every letter circled again, like the subway train colors. And I think I just added an Express that I found underneath. So yeah, I like these uniforms okay, but they're not as fun as the Brooklyn Bomb Squad. So we decided to make this the lower profile New York team. So we need a downtown. We need a Manhattan stadium. Do any of you want to tackle that stadium? Let me know in the comments below. And again, we don't have to do this like we did it before, where pretty much one guy took one stadium. If you've got multiple ideas, send them my way. I'll showcase them even if we don't pick them. And we do want to get my brother involved in picking the stadiums because, like I said, he's a big part of the league. I play him, and it's basically just him and me. As soon as we get online leagues, as soon as we can do this with custom rosters, we'll get more people involved, and I think we can play against each other, and that would be really fun. I did have a request from someone in the comments wanting to join the league, and I would love to bring them in, but you just can't make a custom league with fictional rosters. So once that happens, we'll definitely invite people in. Now, I do plan on making a wish list video for Stadium Creator and Franchise Mode, especially with the downtime coming up, January, February. We'll want to be talking about the new game, so hopefully we can get into that very, very soon. I also have another really big idea for January. So keep an eye open for that. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to tease it. You're going to have to watch Studio 44 in the future to find out what that idea is. This is another team that fell victim to Studio 44, had to delete some stadiums to save this new stadiums to showcase, which I really didn't have to do. But I think in the old version of the game, it was hard to just click on a stadium and look through it like you can on this version and the original version. Like, for some reason, I remember you used to have to download them before you could even look at them, which was frustrating because you would have to make space for it. So that's why at least that's an issue I had. So this is one of the stadiums I found. I'm not sure if I ever showcased it, but I like the arches in right field. And that fountain, I can't remember what it was about that fountain, but it was really cool. And, left field, you got that high wall and stacked seating, and they made a cool entrance to each one. So that was fun. I mean, this is a stadium creator channel, so I wanted to show more stadiums, so at least have a little bit something to look at other than the uniforms that I spent all my time making. Now, this is a team I thought people could get real creative with. We have the New Orleans Demons. There was a logo set in the vault for the New Orleans Voodoo, and I wanted to roll with that. In fact, I think one season we did, but then I realized they didn't have an audio for the Voodoo. I wish they just had an option where they wouldn't say the team's name. They just said the city. If we do that, then we could take any name we wanted. So I went with the Demons. They have ghosts, I think, and they have vampires or mummies or monsters or something like that, but I went with the Demons. Because New Orleans, has that history, with all that spookiness and the voodoo and all that stuff. So I thought they could be really fun for a stadium creator to get, really creative with some of the props. You got some of those broken down buildings now. I'd rather stay away from the monsters and stuff like that, but I don't know. Maybe you can make it modern, but have some of that creepy stuff as highlights or something. I don't know. But I mean, hey, get creative with it. And again, if we don't pick it, you still make a cool stadium and we showcase it on Studio 44. The away is very similar with the dark, and I found that Demons in there. It's pretty convoluted. But it's what I came up with. By the time I got to New Orleans Demons, I was tired of making teams, and I'm like, okay, this is good enough. So if you have a team name or if you have a logo for the New Orleans Demons, if you have a better team name idea, we're open to it. If you want to create a stadium for the Demons or any of those other options, leave a comment below. This is another stadium I never got around to showcasing, but I saved it. It looks really great from the thumbnail. I remember getting in and seeing a little sloppiness in some places, but it's still got some really cool layers. Creative use of the steakhouse in right field. Those rocks. I think that's a waterfall in left field. It's a little shadow. Oh, no, it's not. It looks like a bullpen, a custom bullpen maybe. But I don't think we used it in the Ricky Davis League. The San Diego Diablos. This is a team I think my sister-in-law invented. His wife made a team, and I think his kids each made a team or two. And again, this was the first version of the game that we made some of these teams. Because I think 2020 was the first version of the game, right, that you could rebrand teams. Anyway, we kind of went with that brick red color. They didn't upload the original logos that they came up with, so I kind of had to find different options or recreate different stuff just because I didn't have the time to find the way they did it. I tried to stay true to their color scheme and their striping ideas and stuff like that. So that's the Diablos. I don't know why you would think hell when you think San Diego. It just seems like a really cool city, and I love Petco Park, at least, from on TV. I've never been there, of course, but the away uniforms, all black. That's what she came up with, so I stuck true to that, found that Diablos, threw it on there. Again, the hat, just something I found in the vault. That font kind of gave me a Diablo vibe, so that's the one we went with for this team. Again, not that there's many options. Hint, hint, SDS, hint, hint. But yeah, here's the Diablos. Let's take a look at their stadium real quick. Okay, please forgive me for this, but I just realized that I created a stadium for the Diablos that I never got to showcase on Studio 44, so I wanted to get in here real quick and do it just real fast. I put the castle in the background, we called it Devil's Nest. I called it Devil's Nest. Is where Satan lives, or the Diablos, or whatever. And it's kind of runs into this luxury seat section over here in right field. Then you got some volcanoes running in, and again, I'll show you the reason for that. Little untraditional, behind home plate. You got a really high upper deck looking down. And in left field, you got the big Cleveland Indians scoreboard buried into the huge building that was added on late in the summer of 22. I liked putting seats between these little pillar things. I think that looked really cool. And then I got separate plaza level seats coming down. So I thought this one was a little fun. I got a little quirky in center field with the dimensions and had some luxury seats in front of some bleachers, borrowing Marco's methods again, trying to recreate them. Not nearly as well, obviously. And then over here you have the snack shack on this little corner. Now, here's where I got a little controversial. If you zoom back, this is like buried in the ground to make you feel like you're in hell. I saw another stadium creator do this, and I thought, oh, that's a good idea for the Devils. They like buried their stadium way in the ground, and I didn't want to get too fancy with it, so I just surrounded it with parking lot, just to make it look like it's deep in the ground. Of course, if you go underneath the parking lot, it's just, a bunch of rocks to kind of close it off so you can't see outside the stadium. But I thought it worked out really cool. But again, this is one of those stadiums that, you don't really see. What are those for? Why the heck do I have those there? That seems like a waste of memory. I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was a fun idea, so I wanted to spend a little more time on the stadium itself. Normally, this isn't one of the more high-profile teams, but again, I saw the idea of, burying a stadium, and it just made me think of, the Diablos. They're supposed to be in hell, so why don't we put them underground? Sorry if that offends anyone, but I thought it was a fun idea. And I got a little creative with the concourse or the plaza area outside. And then, of course, this is the tip of the castle. I figured could be showing up, sticking out, and, people would take their picture by it and stuff like that when they came to the game. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Let me know if you think if it was fun or not. I don't know why I decided to get all crazy with this, making the thing look a little bit bigger. I guess try to make a little entrance to the castle in there. I thought it was fun. I didn't play a lot of games in here because it was, again, at the end of 22's life. But, all right, I'm sorry. Moving on, back to the Ricky Davis League Stadium Search. Next up on the list, we go overseas to Dublin, where we have the Dublin Vipers. Now, this is a team that's just kind of stuck around in honor of my nephew, Jaden. I believe he created the team at the time. It was about, 3 years ago. We just kind of held on to him because we didn't have the time or the energy to create a new team, kind of the Oakland A's with red in it. I dig that logo with the red, but I think that's something right in the vault, right? Or is it a template that you can use? I don't know. Definitely one of the lower profile teams. I don't think I've ever played these guys. Ooh, another gray. I kind of like that green, red, and yellow color scheme. At least around the Dublin. I don't know if I like the red sticking out. But again, I tried to stay true to the colors he had because I couldn't recreate all the logos and stuff that he originally had because we never uploaded them. But there they are. Now, do we have to keep them? Probably not. This is a team we could sacrifice. If you have another team overseas, let me know. We do have other teams overseas. I don't want to spoil them just yet. So let me know in the comments below if you have an idea, and I'll let you know if we have a team there or not. And hopefully I can get my brother on for the last 10 teams or so to let you know about that, because he's got another thing he wants to throw at you guys. So this is one that I may have showcased. It's the Brooklyn Navy Yard. It's got Jackie Robinson Terrace. The Brooklyn Brewery sign over there in right field looks really cool. I think there's a river back there that you can hit some river shots. Left field looks just pretty standard with a second deck and a big scoreboard. I think I downloaded this one to showcase. I don't remember if I ever got to it or not. I don't think so. But let's move on to the next team. We have the Tokyo Monsters. Baseball, obviously huge in Japan. Some fantastic players. But there's the color scheme, red, black, and green. My brother created this team. He found that logo in the vault, so I was able to find it again. And the Tokyo for the away jersey is the same we found that and we're able to put it back in. The red shoulders, the black sleeves, and then the green undershirt. Another gray, man. I'm just contradicting myself all over this video. We have a lot more gray uniforms than I thought. But, yeah, this is the Tokyo Monsters. Again, Godzilla, all those, we figured it made perfect sense for the Tokyo Monsters. We have some great stadiums that we've showcased on Studio 44 already from this game. I believe Murph075 had one, and then I found one from Ron Solo. I think I showcased a couple of Ron Solos, but he hasn't found the channel yet. So, Ron Solo, if you're out there, if we can't find someone to create a new Tokyo stadium, we may use your stadium. We may use Murph's. So, yeah, there's the Tokyo Monsters. I don't know why I always assign this stadium to the Monsters. It's a stadium that I created. I really like it. I think it's probably as close to a real stadium as I've ever created, although that big building in right field probably isn't very realistic. And the quirky wall, I don't think you'll ever find that tiny little section in right center field there, but I love the stacked layers in left field. It's got the row of luxury seating right along the home run fence, and then there's a deck on top of that, and then on top of that there's some field level seating, and then more levels of seating in left field, and then you got Legends Landing over there in left field. If you want a more detailed look at this, I did showcase it in one of my Stadium Extravaganza videos, so you're just going to have to dig through. I don't even know what it's called, which video it's called that I showcased this. I recreated this from a stadium I created in the first version of the game, and I definitely like this one better. I think there's some things I like better about the first one, but I think this one turned out better. I really like the idea of just a giant wall of solar panels, that's kind of parallel to the batter's hill there. So that could get kind of cool with the anomalies, taking advantage of those anomalies. And I like that little seating section right next to the batter's eye in right center field there. It's covered by a little awning. So, yeah, I like this stadium. Again, if you want more details on it, if you want to see it, in more detail, take a look at some of my older videos. Okay, this is another team that my nephew created, Jaden from Respect the Pick. I love this color scheme. I don't know is that a green? Is that like a turquoise? I don't know what it is, but something about that mixed in with the gray. He originally called them the Manitoba Avalanche. I think that's a city in Canada, maybe even Alaska, but I didn't keep Manitoba. We turned him into the Alaska Avalanche. We thought it made sense. And I wanted to keep the color scheme. The color scheme is exactly the way that he picked out. And he's red-green colorblind. So I don't know how he, came up with that cool combination, but I really liked it, so I kept it. I stuck with it, and I would like to keep with it, even if we don't keep calling them the Elastic Avalanche, and there's a reason why we may not call them the Alaska Avalanche. I've given hints in past videos as to why, but we have pretty big requests coming that involves Alaska, so let's take a look at their away uniform. Another all gray. Look at this. It's that darker gray, though, that Arizona Diamondbacks darker gray. And again, I think it's a really cool combination with that green. I think it looks really sharp. So definitely going to keep that color scheme. May not be an Alaska Avalanche, but maybe we can, maybe there's another city in Canada we can use, or like Sweden or Norway or Greenland or, one of those other infamously cold countries or cities that we can call the Avalanche. Once again, we have a stadium that I showcased, so the original stadium for this team fell victim of Studio 44, but I really like this one. I think I did showcase this one, and this one might even be Laraco. I'm pretty sure I looked back at one of my older videos and realized that one of the stadiums I showed was, in the last version of the game, was from Laraco, who has been a big hit on this stadium channel this year. So, again, I showcased it in an older video, so let's move on. We're almost through these. All right, here we have the Rochester Galaxy. I've told y'all before, I'm from Rochester, New York, Ontario, which is a suburb of Rochester, but I don't know why Galaxy. I think this was my youngest nephew. He came up with the Rochester Galaxy. We figured we should have a Rochester team, seeing as how we're from Rochester. I mean, obviously, they have the Red Wings, and they do really good as a AAA affiliate of the Orioles in the past, Twins in the past, and now they are currently the AAA affiliate of the Washington Nationals. I don't know why we went Galaxy. I don't think we were famous for our planetarium. We have one. I don't know how famous we are for it. But Rochester's big Bausch and Lomb is big in Rochester, Kodak and Xerox, if you've ever heard of those two. Now, we have something called the garbage plate. I don't know if you've ever heard of this before. It's been on a couple of those food shows, unique foods of areas. It's like the biggest piece of culture we have. It's supposed to be a meal that you eat after getting drunk or high or whatever, after partying, and you go out to a place called Nick Tahoe's, downtown Rochester, New York. What a garbage plate is it's macaroni salad, home fries, hamburgers or hot dogs, 2 of each. Just the patty, no bun, or just the hot dog itself, thrown on top of those 2 things. Then you cover it in spicy hot meat sauce, raw onions, ketchup and mustard, or Frank's Red Hots. And oh my God, let me tell you, part of the reason I have these chubby cheeks is because of the garbage plate. It's my favorite thing to eat in the entire freaking world. Listen, it's such a staple in Rochester that on Thursdays, the Rochester Red Wings call themselves the Rochester Plates. And I'll put up a picture and post, but it's a real thing. So garbage plates are a huge thing in Rochester. If you ever come to Rochester, that's the first thing people will do. They'll say, oh, we're going to go get a garbage plate because Rochester's famous for them. And they are, and they're true, and they're amazing. Just make sure you go to the right place. I mean, it's hard to mess up a plate, but there's definitely better ones. So if you're in town, hit me up. I'll tell you where to go for a good garbage plate. But there's the Rochester Galaxy. My nephew found that logo in the vault. It's kind of got a cool, fade from purple to blue effect to it, and there's stars in it. So I'm okay with the Galaxy, but I don't know, maybe we can make a Houston team or something. I don't know. Galaxy doesn't have to stick around necessarily, although I do like that purple and blue color scheme. Let's take a look at the away logos. Let's take a look at the away uniforms. You got the solid blue. I think I changed this up. I found that Rochester in there. And again, I'm not sure I ever played the Rochester Galaxy. Maybe in the World Series once. Now that I think about it, maybe I did. That's about it. One of the lower profile teams. Just again, we kind of got bored, so my brother said, hey, make a team for us. And that's what my nephew came up with. This is a stadium I was going to showcase once again. It was supposed to be a new home to the Kansas City Royals. I think there's real renderings of something similar to this. I don't think this is how they're going now, but Royals are definitely on the verge of getting a new stadium soon, downtown too. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. I think the main plan is to take care of the Rays and the A's, and it sounds like both of them are. So maybe we can start talking expansion, and I know the Diamondbacks want a new stadium, and the Angels are thinking about new stadium. The Royals, Milwaukee just made a huge deal to get renovated. Skydome or Rogers Center is getting major renovations still. So a lot of cool new stadiums coming into the bigs, and we want more new cool stadiums for the Ricky Davis League too. So is this a team you want to create a stadium for? Is this a team you can rebrand? New city, maybe we should keep a Rochester team, and pay homage to my hometown. Or my home city, I should say. But we're open to a name change. Probably should avoid the plates just because on Thursday home games, the Rochester Red Wings are the Rochester Plates. But Kodak, Xerox, I don't know. Maybe you can do something with that. Paychecks is huge in Rochester. Okay, one more team. Now, the last team is actually called the Ohio Dinos. That's probably one team I never played. Another one my nephew created. I don't know why the Dinos in Ohio, but every year I create the Ricky Davis League All-Stars, and I put them in a league of teams filled with that team's legends. Like the Yankees have Ruth and Gehrig, and the Red Sox have Ted Williams and David Ortiz, and the Mariners have Ken Griffey Jr. and Edgar Martinez and all those guys, those legends rosters. And we take all the best players from the Ricky Davis League, put them on one team, and this is the uniforms I went with that one year. Unfortunately, the Ohio Dinos had to be sacrificed because you can only have 30 teams saved at once. So I sacrificed the Dinos. I think I have pictures of them that I'll throw up and post so you can see what their color scheme is. But again, let's rebrand them. I almost want to call that and make it official. No more Ohio Dinos. What else? What other big cities in the U.S. could use a baseball team? What teams overseas can we get a cool team with? Can we get a new team located to? I'd love to hear your suggestions in the comments below. I just threw these guys up so I didn't forget the Ohio Dinos. This was their away uniforms. I didn't play very much this year, so I don't remember how they ended up looking in-game. But yeah, that's one of the frustrating things about the logo creator and the uniform creator with rebranding teams. You have to save the team and then start a fake franchise just to get a look at the logos in-game. It's really frustrating. I'd love to be able to edit them mid-season. That way you can kind of get a look at them in a game and then fix them for the next, instead of having to go through and create a whole new franchise just to take a peek at the uniforms you made, because they look very different from there than they do in the actual game. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know how much rebranding you guys do, but, I mean, you go through Diamond Dynasty, right? You play Diamond Dynasty where you make your own uniforms. So, I mean, it's really frustrating. But I guess most people don't use MLB The Show for that. So I guess I get it, but I wish they could just change that. This is another one of Marco's creations that I don't think I ever got to showcase. I think I downloaded it to showcase, but never got around to it. Very, very cool stadium. Those different layered decks in right field. That scoreboard looks fantastic. I think I may have played a game or two here, using the Ricky Davis League All-Stars against the legends of major league teams. But yeah, it was a cool looking stadium. So I think that's the one I went with. And that's it. Those are the 10 latest teams that need stadiums in the Ricky Davis League. So do you want to create a stadium for the Vancouver Yetis, the San Juan Sharks? Do you want to make a stadium for the Manhattan Express, the New Orleans Demons, the Dublin Vipers? Again, maybe we can rebrand these guys. I don't know. San Diego Diablos, the Tokyo Monsters. We have the Avalanche. I don't know if they're going to stay in Alaska. Is there some other notoriously cold city that could replace Alaska and keep the name Avalanche and that color scheme? The Rochester Galaxy. Again, can we rebrand Rochester? I mean, I guess I'm open to keeping them the Galaxy too, but they definitely need a new stadium. And the last team that needs rebranding and a new stadium is the Ohio Dinos. Is there something about Cleveland or Cincinnati that sticks out that could be a good team for the Ricky Davis League? Hey, do you not like the Cleveland Guardians? Do you wish they were called something else? What is that? Maybe we can put them in the Ricky Davis League, create their uniforms and their logos in a new stadium. I don't know. We're open to suggestions for some of those teams. And again, these are the low-profile teams, but if we're impressed, we'll want to play them more and make them more high-profile. Kick out some of those teams maybe that we play over and over and over and over and over again. Those are your teams, fellas. Again, I hope you're as excited about this as you were for the first 5. If you're not excited about these 10 teams, keep in mind, I think there's still like 10 more to go. And if you want to showcase one of your own creations that have nothing to do with the Ricky Davis League, I still plan on doing that. And I am going to bust out something pretty cool, I think, in the next few weeks or maybe even month, now that we're coming to the end of the year. So if you want to showcase a stadium here on Studio 44, leave the name of your stadium in the comments below. Leave your gamer tag along with it, because it's very important. It makes it so much easier to find your stadium if you leave both. Do you have any ideas for rebranding these teams? Do you have a team that you use, that you play your own fictional leagues in, that you want incorporated into the Ricky Davis League? I did have someone who wants to give me a player. Nate Suarez is the name of the player. I'm going to download him for the vault, plug him into one of the high-profile Ricky Davis League teams, and boom, he's going to be officially a member of the Ricky Davis League. Do you have a player like that? Throw them in the comments below. Keep your eyes and ears open for new Stadium Extravaganza videos. I did tell you earlier, I have one recorded. I just need to edit it and upload, so it's not all about the Ricky Davis League right now. I'm still showcasing your stadiums. Thank you again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell on this channel, and respect the pick. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you guys watching and listening. Although I'm sure you guys probably fast forward through a lot of my rambling. This is a long video, but I'm really excited to show off the Ricky Davis League. This is something that we've been passionate about for years. So to get other people involved in it, we just get a really big kick out of it. So thank you again so much, and we'll see you very, very soon.